Hey guys, Captain Foley here with you yet again. Thank you for coming back to check out another Captain's Log. Really appreciate all you guys. You guys are fantastic. I suppose, as you can tell from the title, I have something I really want to talk about today. Something that's really been bugging me. Something that has affected me my whole life. And something I think you guys should know about me. I mean, I came to this realization a long time ago, but lately I've actually kind of indulged a little bit and kind of gone off the rails maybe. So I wanted to talk to somebody about it, and you guys are absolutely awesome, and I would love talking to you guys. So let's just get into it. This is never easy for anyone to say, but I have an addiction. Sad but true. Something I can't get away from. I mean, not that I want to, because I really enjoy it, but I really want you guys to know about it and to know what I'm going through lately. I've been kind of on a spending spree as far as this particular addiction goes, and I need to stop. I really need to stop. I don't want you guys being all concerned either. It's not that serious. It's just something I wanted to talk about. And I am kind of making light of it because it is not really super serious, as you guys are going to see. I have an addiction to books. I love books. I love buying books. I love smelling new books. The smell of new books is just fantastic. The feel of a new book. The crispness of a new book. Even if I don't read them, I've got bookshelves full of books I haven't read yet, with the intention that I'm going to read them someday. I just love books. So I want to go through some of my recent purchases with you guys, so you can kind of see where I sit as far as my book addiction goes. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to be screaming in the comments, "Oh my God, addiction's a serious thing. Why would you make fun of it? Why would you make light of it?" I'm not. I seriously am addicted to buying books, whether I can afford them or not in some cases. And some of them are just ridiculous. I'm never going to get around to reading them. This one's actually really good. There's a movie based on this, starring Malcolm McDowell. This one's called Time After Time, and it is basically H.G. Wells' Jack the Ripper thriller. Jack the Ripper uses H.G. Wells' time machine and goes forward in the future to 1979 San Francisco. And Malcolm McDowell's character, H.G. Wells, has to go and stop him. Awesome book. Combines two of my favorite things. I love, well, three of my favorite things is the book. I also, big fan of H.G. Wells, big fan of the Time Machine, and a big fan of, well, not a fan, but expert in Jack the Ripper. Something I'm really into. This is really up my alley and fantastic. So I bought that recently. For no reason, I actually have another copy of it. I do have the movie as well, but awesome book. This I bought, of course, Star Trek Discovery, Drastic Measures by Dayton Ward. Have not read this yet. Have not even read the first one yet. Desperate Hours. Desperate Hours is the first one. Drastic Measures is the second. This is Lorca. Tells the tale of Lorca and Princess Georgiou. Captain Philippa Georgiou, 10 years prior to the events that we see in Discovery. Again, will I ever read it? I should, because this is really important stuff for Trekyards. My other one, Desperate Hours, is over on the table there. I'm only halfway through it. When I get a chance to read, it's only like 5 or 6 pages sometimes, and then I've got to put it down. Usually when I'm waiting for an appointment or whatever. A lot of times I do spend time in the afternoons watching TV, which I shouldn't be doing. I should be putting it down, turning that off, and picking up a book. I also suffer from insomnia, so I should really be reading at night in kind of a dimly lit room so I can kind of fall asleep. But no, I watch YouTube and I stay awake until 3 or 4 in the morning, and then go to bed whether I'm tired or not. I've heard reading is the cure for that. I should try it. Haven't tried it. Should try it. Got a lot of books to try it on. The Sherlock Holmes book. Now, anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. I'm what you might call a Sherlockian scholar. I know pretty much everything about Sherlock Holmes lore. This book I saw when I was out with my daughter Cassie, and I had to pick it up. This is one of those DK books, dk.com, and it's one of those ones that basically covers absolutely everything Sherlock Holmes related. And it's just fantastically done. Had to pick it up. I've got such a huge collection of Sherlock Holmes books. That'll be its own separate video, I think, at some point, if you guys are interested. It's just... Love Sherlock Holmes. Always been a fan. The best Sherlock Holmes ever is Jeremy Brett from the 1980s Granada TV series. Jeremy Brett was a fantastic Sherlock Holmes. The absolute best, in my opinion. The epitome of that role, of that character. Benedict Cumberbatch in the new Sherlock is great. I do like it. I kind of hate that it made Sherlock Holmes kind of mainstream. Now when you say Sherlock Holmes, you search for Sherlock Holmes, all you get is Benedict Cumberbatch, which sucks. I do like the fact that they kind of put it in a modern age, but at the same time I don't like that. There's the Benedict Cumberbatch one where he, it's called The Abominable Bride, I believe, where it takes place in the 1880s in Victorian England. That's where Sherlock Holmes belongs. That's where he should be. And yeah, so I got this one added to my Sherlock Holmes book collection, which is ginormously huge. You have no idea. You have no idea. Most of my books aren't even out right now. They're packed away, or they're in the downstairs closet, which has bookshelves in it. It's just top to bottom books. Once the kids move out, we're going to be adding a room upstairs. We're going to make a library. And speaking of, I'm going to talk to you about something else in a minute when I'm done with these books. But yeah, so eventually we'll have a library where I can display all these books, and I would love to do some reviews of some of these books for you guys. Some of them are great. I got some really interesting Star Trek books, some oldies but goodies. A lot of those are used in the making of Trekyards, doing research, pulling up obscure facts from old books, and things like that to tie in with the narrative that we're doing. So I try to incorporate all that kind of stuff for you guys. So this I got just the other day, the Robotech Visual Archive, the Macross Saga. You know what? I'm not even a Macross fan. I'm not even a Robotech fan. I'm a fan of F-14s. I'm a fan of the ship and the robot thing, because it looks like an F-14. But this book simply blew me away. A friend of mine, here's some of the details in the book here. A friend of mine named Pete, he brought this to our Model Club meeting, and again, it's just the feel of a new book, the way it's presented. I love these archives that document like TV shows, go through every episode, things like that. I love these kind of things. I do love some of them across designs, and this is full of concept art and, you know, just concept art and different robots and suits, and a lot of cool stuff in here. It's an episode guide. It goes through every episode of the show, all the characters. Fantastic book. And this one cost me, well, it was $44.99 US. It was like 65, something like that, Canadian. So a book that, for a show that I'm not even really a fan of, but I'm just a fan of books. And I gotta tell you, the smell of a new hardcover is fantastic. I love it. And just the feel of it. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for books. And of course, these ones that I got at Christmas, there's the classic Star Trek episodes in book form, and it's a very beautiful book too. Like, this is a stunning book. Again, even things like this. This is the John Byrne collection, Star Trek comics. This is the collection of all the comics in there. Nice thick book. Again, even if it's not hardcover, just this, the sound, the feel, the smell, just love it. And I'm such a stickler for books that in the event of having a paperback like this, I read it very much like this. You know, like I keep the spine straight all the time. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but I want them when I put them back on the shelf to not have cracked spines, to not look all beat up. I will in some instances buy either a used copy from a library, like my Dragon Riders of Pern series. I've got all those in older copies that have the spines broken so that I can actually enjoy the read. But in most instances, even if it's a thick book, it's all in how you read it. You keep that spine straight at all times, and you kind of did it. Okay, that's just the way it's got to be done, guys. I'm sorry. You got to keep your spines not broken. And big pet peeve of mine: never dog ear a cover. When you dog ear a cover, you are damaging a beautiful work of art that is known as a book, and you are insulting the author, in my opinion. I would never dog ear a book ever. I always find something to throw in there as a bookmark. And yeah. Also, when I'm reading a novel, I always read to this page right there and down to the first paragraph. So I know exactly where to start every time. It's always the first paragraph on this page. So if somebody interrupts me here, I will just put the bookmark in and know to start there again. Or if they interrupt me like here, I'll just a minute and I'll continue reading until this page down here. That's just the way I am. Very picky, very OCD about my books and my reading. And yeah, I thought I'd share that with you guys. Not that you care, but this one I picked up just the other day too. We were in going out for supper with a friend. Stopped at our Indiegogo, which is basically like Chapters or Kohl's or Barnes & Noble for you guys in the States, which I love Barnes & Noble, by the way. I go to the one in Port Huron all the time. But I was looking around the bookstore, couldn't find any books that I really wanted, was really interested in, which is odd, because like I said, I love books and whatever. Thought, why not? I'm going to look up something because you'll see in a second that I'm interested in this. But I looked up He-Man and found on the computer He-Man and the Thundercats, two of my favorite things put together into a graphic novel, or well, just a comic book actually. But again, fantastic. I had to go find this on the shelf. It wasn't quite where it was supposed to be, but I did find it and scoop that up as well because I absolutely love Thundercats and He-Man and books and comics. And I haven't read it yet. Got this too, New Visions. This is a Star Trek book that uses actual stills from the show and just creates a new story with them. Yeah, so simply gorgeous artwork in here. Not artwork, but like get some great shots of the ship, and they use actual screen grabs and just add a new story to it, create a new story, and they do a fantastic job. It's really dynamic, really fun to look at, and it's like watching a new episode of Star Trek. You guys can find the New Visions comics, check them out, get them. They're fantastic. I need to find more of them actually. This one here, Star Trek Harlan Edison City on Edge of Forever, I was not going to get, but I got it at such a good price. I got this for $5. It's regularly like $24, $30. And I thought it would just be a simple retelling of A City on the Edge of Forever. It's not. It is the original teleplay as it was supposed to be. It's way more involved, way more science fiction-y, and I should actually do a review of this. I had to read this one when I got it. I read it when I was on vacation this last summer and at the cottage, and it was just it's a good read. It's a good story. At the time I was thinking I got to do a review of this for you guys because it's just so far outside the box and something totally new, but it's still The City on the Edge of Forever, so it's fantastic. So I think I will do that for you guys at some point, go through it and do a nice video that highlights it in all its glory. Here too, the Transformers. This is volume 6. I've got volumes 1 through 4 downstairs. I'm missing 5, but this is another one I got at the free comic. No, I got this at London Comic-Con this year. This was $10, and again, this is regularly like a $50 book. And this is just all the IDW Transformers comics collected into one volume. And I'm a huge Transformers fan. So even though I'm missing a book in the middle there, I will be getting that at some point. But this is definitely, again, the feel of a thick hardcover with glossy pages. It's just a beautiful thing. And it just, oh it smells so good. And I don't have room for these books either. And they're heavy. I'm telling you. Here's another one, Transformers 30th Anniversary Edition collection. This is collected comics from the new IDW series all the way up to, the original Transformers comics all the way up until the modern ones. So you can see there's one of the old style. And it just, I love it. I love it. I love the sound that the books make. That creaking. It's just beautiful. So I admit I do have a problem. I do have an addiction. I do have a problem with books. I've got too many is the problem. And I need time to read them. And at some point I probably will get to reading them. That's the plan anyway. In my golden years, once we have a library we can sit down and actually really appreciate these for what they are. That'll be fun. I also want to have a place where I not get distracted by everyday life or whatever while I'm reading. And there's more here as well. Here, this one is weapons, a visual history of arms and armor. I'm a huge fan of swords. I have a sword collection. I'm also schooled in 3 forms of sword fighting: medieval broadsword, fencing, and kendo. And this just goes through, it's a visual history, again, it's the DK series of books. And it's just visual history of weaponry throughout time, which is fantastic. This is one of my other favorite books that I've had for 20 plus years. This one's Swords and Hilt Weapons. Again, it's a hardcover edition. It's detailing the history of bladed weapons throughout time. It's funny, this one I actually had when I first got married and never got it back in the divorce. Just like my sword collection, I didn't get any of my swords back from my divorce from my ex-wife, which really sucks. I had to rebuild the collection. I'm still missing 1 or 2 pieces, and I'm missing the most important one. Is the first one I ever got sword-wise from my dad, and it was gold-hilted Excalibur. But it's a very particular one. You see them all the time, the gold-hilted Excaliburs, blah blah blah. But the engravings on the blade are never right. I've since found one. But it's silver. It's got a silver hilt and a silver pommel, and it's just not the same. I need the gold one. I need the one that my dad gave me back. I won't get it back. I need to find one like it. I've found 1 or 2 like it online, but they are very expensive, and I just haven't had a chance to pick one up yet. Actually, I'm just going to show you it real quick. So if anybody out there has a lead on one, please let me know. So yeah. Here it is, guys. This is the one in the sheath. Very distinctive patterns. You can see there it says Excalibur, King Arthur. It's got the dragon and all the Celtic knots. Dragon's on the hilt there. So this is it in the silver format. And the engravings on the blade are what makes or breaks this one. These are what they look like. Again, it says Excalibur, King Arthur. And you've got the... Just take the sheath off here. Set it down there. Alright. So, hopefully you guys can see it. If you guys get a lead on any swords like this, and also the engraving has to be about that far from the top. A lot of them have more obvious engravings. It's more of a blackened kind of hue in there. You can see the little animals and things that make up this engraving. It's like little doves and little, I guess they're monkeys or something in there, in the filigrees, and just beautiful. That's what the sword's supposed to look like, but with a gold handle, gold pommel, and a gold hilt. This one is the exact same exact same as the one that my dad gave me, but just it's silver instead. It's the best replacement I could find so far. I'd need to find a gold one. If you guys know of any, let me know. But it's got to look exactly like this. So many times, even Sylvia will point one out saying, is that the one? And the engravings on the blade just aren't right. They're a lot cheaper versions, and I'm just not into it. But anyway, back to the books for a second. Just got a few more I want to show you guys, and then we'll move on to something else. Kind of the update for something I talked about earlier. These I got, these are expensive, and they're big, and they're heavy, and they're thick. This is He-Man and the Masters Universe, the Character Guide and World Compendium. Also featuring She-Ra, Princess of Power. Beautiful books, heavy books, and again, expensive. Each one of these is like 60 to 80 bucks. But this goes through all the characters, everything from the world of He-Man. As a kid, I was a pretty big He-Man fan, and I definitely really enjoy the show. Now it's more of a nostalgia thing. But this isn't the only problem. There's this book, but there's also two more just as big as this. And I have them all now. The next one is The Art of He-Man. And this has all of the artwork from the toys to the comics, old comics, new comics, production art, you name it, it's in here. Stills from the show, concept art for different toys that were never released. Like I said, the new comics in there. He-Man's origins as concepts and toys and all that. It's all in here. The Art of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Beautiful book. If you guys are He-Man fans, definitely check it out. But again, expensive. This one was $43.99 Canadian. This first one over here was $65.99 Canadian. I get all these on deals because I have the rewards points card, and I buy so many books that I got like $50 off one of these purchases and whatever. So here's the third one. This is He-Man and She-Ra, the complete guide to the classic animated adventures. So this is every episode detailed in here. This one's really thick, really heavy. And this features He-Man and She-Ra. Yeah, it just goes through every episode. Has a description of the episode, the new characters that are introduced, the plot, how it ties in with other episodes, any behind the scenes, any deleted scenes that were cut out of the episode, things like that. Again, fantastic book. Highly recommend it. Here too, this is Knives and Swords, a complete or visual history. This is a smaller version of that sword book. Oh, as I was saying with the sword book too, I originally had that when I got married, when I first got married. Never got it back with my sword collection, never got it back. Looked years and years and years and years and years for it. Finally found the exact same copy again. They'd re-released it. So Sylvia picked it up for me. So now I've got the book back. Now I just need to find the sword. And there's a few swords I want from my old collection back, but that one is the most important to me, the one that my dad gave me to start the collection. So if anybody can help me with a lead for that, that'd be awesome. The other one is the Dark Magic sword from Highlander 3, which is like the evil version of Connor MacLeod's sword. I'll do an episode on swords soon, actually, if you want, and I can talk about that then. And there's a few other ones like the God of War, the God of War swords from the Franklin Mint, which was one sword that went into one sheath, but when it came out, it was two separate swords. So yeah. Here is the Art of Star Trek, the Kelvin Timeline. Yes, I bought this, guys. I hemmed and hawed about this at the store, but it was on, there was like a 20% off thing that day. It was just after Christmas, and it was sealed, so I couldn't really look through it. Got it home, and just some stunning artwork in here. Some fantastic designs from John Eves of the shuttles and stuff, and also some of Ryan Church's alternate designs for the Enterprise, which would have been better. But then again, seeing some of the other ideas that Ryan Church has, I really shake my head. I don't know what's up with that guy. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing, in my opinion. And I'm glad that some of this didn't get into the show. He wanted to make the nacelles transparent when they were at warp, so you could see them glowing, like the whole nacelle. Yeah, don't ask, I don't know. Just a few more books, guys, and then I will call this quits for today. The Art of Transformers, Fall of Cybertron. I love these art books. I love these concept archive kind of books. This game, The Fall of Cybertron, along with The War for Cybertron, are fantastic games by High Moon Studios. Awesome Transformers stories without humans in them. This is what Michael Bay's movie should have been. You can redesign the Transformers, have them look like they're supposed to, and tell a story without freaking humans in the movie, because you don't need humans to relate. So these games are freaking fantastic. I replay them all the time. They are awesome. This book is awesome. Got it for $10 again at London Comic Con. Usually this is like a, where is it here? Well, $40 US, so that's $50 Canadian easily. Beautiful artwork in this one. Transformers, The Art of Transformers, Fall of Cybertron. Next up, this is also bought at London Comic Con for $10. Transformers, The Art of Prime. This is from Transformers Prime, the latest, well, it was the latest good Transformers series, let's put it that way. Again, beautiful artwork in here. Concepts, designs, final designs, the process that went into the designs. Talks about all the ships, all the characters, and just shows you some fantastic artwork. Beautiful book. Transformers Prime is one of the best Transformers series. If you're a G1 fan and you haven't checked out Transformers Prime, you guys are missing out. It is fantastically well done. One of the best Transformers series ever made, in my opinion. It's right up there with G1 and Beast Wars. And a lot of people say Beast Wars. Yeah, I hated Beast Wars 2 when it first came out. Then they tied it into G1, and man, the storytelling in Beast Wars is phenomenally good. Very well written, very great stories, good character development, good characters. It's just a fantastic series of Transformers. It really is. Stuff like Robots in Disguise and you know, I can't even think of the other ones now. Transformers Energon, Transformers Robots in Disguise, Transformers, I can't remember though because I don't like them, I don't watch them because they're just awful. The animation style's shit, the storytelling's alright, a few episodes are good, but overall just not great, not great. And this will be the last one I'll show you guys book-wise for now. This is Transformers Legacy, The Art of the Transformers Packaging. This is awesome. This shows you all of the original Transformers box art from the 80s. All the character art. Alright, let's see here. Let's get a good one. There we go. That's a good one. the Dinobots. So that's all the box art for the Dinobots. It just goes through. There's some collections that you see in like the old little collectible, collect them all catalogs you used to get. But yeah, just fantastic stuff. So that's the book collection, guys. Part of it, like I said, there's lots more. There's lots more. But that's just what I had available that I bought recently-ish. And wanted to show you guys how much of a problem I have, because that's a lot of books. That's a lot of damn books and take up a lot of damn room. And I don't have the damn room right now. But when you see a good deal, you can't pass it up. Am I right? I am right, because a lot of times books, once they go out of print, they're hard to find, or they go up in price, or you gotta wait till they get reissued. It's just a pain in the ass. So I pick them up when I can, and regret it sometimes, because it's like, oh, the pocketbook hurts now. But it is what it is. It could be a worse addiction, I guess. But that's where I stand, and hopefully you guys appreciated that look at the books. I do have something else to show you real quick, and then we will call this one a wrap. So recently I had the opportunity, a friend of Sylvia's from work was getting rid of some bookcases or some shelving units, and thought we might be interested because I have a lot of collectibles. And so we went and picked them up, and I'm going to show them to you right now. They're going to really work well in the upstairs room. I've talked about it before. The room I'm going to kind of make an office. If not an office, at least an alternate filming location for Captain's logs and stuff. And you'll see why in a second. So here's one of my X-Wing models. Long story about this model. This one's been around for a long time. This was the one that got me back into model building after like a 15-year hiatus. First one I built coming back to the hobby. But anyway, it's kind of getting off topic. These glass shelves are huge. They're about 7 feet tall. Glass. They got all backlit lights, even up there and down here are lit, but I just have the one plugged in right now. And I have a few things on them just to kind of see if they would fit. I was worried about my X-Wing. It will fit, so that's fine. But these are going to be going upstairs in Thomas's old room after we paint it. Still has the tape on the drawers, so we can move them upstairs. But so drawers there for storage, a big area here, and then the closed-in glass shelves, which will prevent all this from getting dusty. These are the two Sphero Astromech droids that I want to do a video on. R2-Q5 and R2-D2. And I just threw them in there to see how they would look. They're going to look fantastic. Got them off my desk, which is good. There's the X-Wing. And here's another one of the shelving units. And there's Kirk and Spock. They fit in there nicely. Those guys are pretty tall. I thought I'd try them, see if they fit, and they do, so that's good. Got a place for them, because they were on my dresser with my 350 Enterprise, but they didn't look good there. So anyway, those are the shelves. Those will be going up in Thomas's room after we paint, like I said. Get a lot of collectibles on them, and then I'll have a good backdrop for other videos and things, so I can kind of mix it up with my Captain's logs, not always have the same background, and filming locations. So there you have it, guys. That is it for this Captain's log. Thank you for tuning in. I do have an addiction to books. I know it's a bad thing. It's not as bad as it could be. I hope I didn't clickbait you with the title, but I just wanted to kind of share some of my books and things with you. And it is a problem. I do buy books when I shouldn't, even when I'm not really interested in a topic like Macross. I mean, I didn't need that book, but it's here. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the other all my channels, Trekyards and my personal channel, and check out another video as well. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley. Bye.